to head a Fortune 500 company with sales approaching $23 billion. Then we have Rosalind Brewer. She's a black woman who's president and CEO of Sam's Club, channel with revenues of $56 billion for fiscal year 2013. Then Ms. Eartha Cousin, she's a black woman who was appointed to the executive director of the World Food Program in 2002. Now, between then and now, she has fed 177 million people. And under her leadership, she raised $4.2 billion in contributions. We have Ms. Helene Gale. She's a black woman and the president and chief executive officer of CARE USA. This is a leading humanitarian organization which actively fights poverty in 87 countries. Now, she was appointed to the position in 2006. And then in November of 2012, when that typhoon struck the Philippines, it was Ms. Gale who led CARE on the ground, providing food, shelter, and supplies. And within 6 months, CARE had provided for more than 300,000 people. We have Ms. Risa Lavizo-Murray. She heads the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation. This is the largest healthcare foundation in the United States. She became the CEO in 2003, a position which has her overseeing an estimate of about 800 grants and a $10 billion endowment, and annual disbursements of more than $450 million towards improving health care. Now, Ms. Lavizo-Murray, she's the first female and the first black woman to head the foundation. Young women today have quite a few great role models to look up to, including our First Lady of the United States, Ms. Michelle Obama, Oprah Winfrey, Gabby Douglas, and Dr. Maya Angelou. May she rest in peace. And there are so many others. 15 minutes is just not enough time to name them all. But there were women who came before these women who paved the way for black women to reach the highest level of American society. People such as Ms. Katherine G. Johnson. She was a black woman who, she was a part of the American Space Program. That program may not have gotten off the ground, much less to the moon and around the earth, had it not been for her. Then Ms. Bessie Blanche Griffin, she was a multi-talented physical therapist, inventor, and a forensic scientist. She worked with the injured soldiers in World War II, which inspired her to devise an electronic feeding tube. Now, this feeding tube helped the amputees to feed themselves. Her invention was rejected by the American Veterans Administration, and hence she sold her idea to France. Today, we see things like Jim Crow and the Civil Rights Movement. We see these things as distant memories, as if though they were something that happened a very long time ago, as if though it's ancient history. We can sit in class and look at all the documentaries all day long, and we can read all of the Black history books that were ever written. But people still does not see it as relevant because we live in a society where individualism is stressed and where every person is striving to achieve the American dream. We're constantly focusing on our future while simultaneously forgetting about our past. But we as a community must find ways to preserve our history so that we can keep the hopes and the dreams alive of those who are before us, to keep them alive and relevant. That brings me to reiteration, the act of repeating something over and over again. This is what we do during Black History Month. Every year we repeat the same thing over and over again. Every year we learn about Harriet Tubman, an Underground Railroad conductor. And she was also an inspiration during the Civil War. She served as a Union spy, an unpaid soldier, a volunteer nurse, and she was a freedom fighter. She earned the name General Tubman from the soldiers in the field. And every year we hear about Shirley Chisholm, the first black woman elected to Congress and the first black candidate for president of the United States. And of course, we always hear about Miss Rosa Parks, the woman who refused to give up her seat on the bus. However, there was another black woman before Miss Rosa Parks who refused to give up her seat on the bus. But because this woman had a child out of wedlock, she was not acknowledged. Every year we hear about them, we hear about Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and I am in no way, form, shape, or fashion trying to devalue their significant contributions to the Civil Rights Movement and Black History Month. But I feel that Black History Month should also shine on other blacks who have had a significant impact on the way that we live life. People like Alice Augusta Ball. She was a chemist, and she developed an injectable oil extract that was the most effective treatment of leprosy until the 1940s. She was also the first female and the first black woman to graduate from the University of Hawaii with a master's degree. We must reiterate the fact that blacks offer an array of things in our society. And I'd like for you to imagine for a moment. Imagine there are no black women. And I know for some, that brings a sigh of relief. But suddenly, when reality set in, the new America is not America at all. Because without black women, it's only a barren land. There are very few crops that have flourished because the nation was built on slave-supported systems. There are no cities with closed-circuit television systems that's widely used for surveillance, crime prevention, traffic monitoring, and there are no homes with security systems because they were all invented by a black woman. Her name is Marie Van Britton Brown. There is no sufficient room in the homes to fit more furniture inside because the first black woman to receive a patent, Ms. Sarah Rue, she also invented a folding bed. The bed served as a desk when it was folded and a bed when it was unfolded. And even though Americans can type their letters, they're still suffering from numerous computer-related injuries because Joanna Harding, a black woman, invented the CompURest keyboard stand, which proved to be the remedy ridding us of the injuries. People's clothes are wrinkled and they're forced to use a table or put two boards together because when they reach for an ironing board, it's not there. And it's not there because Sarah Boone, a black woman, invented the ironing board. People's hair is a mess because the brush is not there, because Lydia Newman invented the first hairbrush with synthetic bristles. Women are suffering chemical burns while applying dyes, relaxers, and perms to the hair because Carol Randall, a black woman, invented the ear clips. Wow. Ooh, what a sight. Wrinkled clothes, hair a mess. Even Kiki hair was a mess because Theora Stevens, a black woman, invented the pressing curling iron, and Sarah Walker, she created hair care products, especially for Kiki hair. And without the hair care preventions of the first self-made female millionaire in the United States, Miss Madam C. Walker, well, you get the picture. Amen. And then in the wintertime, when it was really cold, they would like to turn up the heat, but what do you know? Alice Parker, a black woman, invented the heating furnace. It's difficult to reach out and touch someone because Dr. Shirley Jackson invented the touch-tone telephone, the portable fax, caller ID, call waiting, and the fiber optic cables that make overseas phone calls crystal clear. There's no controlled salt concentration in paramecium because a zoologist and biologist and the first black woman to receive a doctorate in zoology named Roger Alene Young made a significant contribution to the study of structures which control salt concentration in paramecium. Owners of convertible T-top cars have glass roof panels that are extremely heavy and inconvenient to maneuver because Naturally Love, a black woman, created the removable cover for T-top convertible cars, allowing them to quickly attach and remove and store the covers. People quickly learned what it would be like if there were no black women in the world, not to mention if they were able to get sick or need a doctor because the first black woman to travel to space, Macy Jemison, one of the most famous woman astronauts, she's also a doctor, she's also a physician. Or what if someone needed cataract surgery? Because in addition to being the inventor of the medical device used to remove cataracts from the eye, Dr. Patricia Bath, a black woman, became the first female ophthalmologist appointed to the University of California, Los Angeles School of Medicine, Eye Institute. And then 9 years after that, in 1983, Dr. Bath became the first female to chair the ophthalmology residency program in America. Now, I am pretty sure that these black women, just like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. had a dream, whether their dream were out of curiosity or necessity, they had faith and a strong belief that they were capable of achieving things which were considered innovative and revolutionary for their time. Last but not least, reality. Students are not being taught enough. When students learn about black history, they need to learn about black women like Josephine Baker, who died in 1931. She was an educator, an anti-lynching campaigner, and the founder of the NAACP. They need to learn about Mary McLeod Bethune, who died in 1955. She also was an educator, a founder of Bethune-Cook College. And they must learn about Susie King Taylor, who died in 1912. She was the first black nurse during the Civil War. They must learn about Dr. Betty Harris, a research chemist. She worked extensively in the area of explosives, and in 1986, she obtained a patent for identifying and determining the sensitivity levels of explosives. Her contributions were so significant that in 1996, she was one of only 8 people selected for inclusion in the National Science Foundation's Women of Science profile. When we learn about our history, we must learn about the good, the bad, and the ugly. We must learn from our past so that we don't repeat the same mistakes in our future. Because of the resilience today and determination of those before us, we don't have to endure the same trials and same tribulations that those before us endured. The fact that I'm even speaking in front of you today shows how far we have come as a nation. And it shows how the faith, hope, and determination of these people who were before us have given us so many great opportunities. And although we have made some progress, we still have to continue to fight to ensure that justice and equality prevail. We as a community can do our part by accepting the differences in others, by treating everyone with kindness and respect, and by striving to make a difference whether big or small. Famous Black women fought for their right to education, to earn a living, and to lead a decent, respectable life, like Condoleezza Rice, the 66th United States Secretary of State. Black women, white women, red women, we have all been discriminated against throughout the ages. But in spite of the hostility and prejudice, some women simply refuse to give up and carry on with their journey to reach the pinnacle of success. Their stories are the stories of pinnacle of perseverance and determination. And all of the aforementioned examples show hope. Hope that they could one day receive the same education as their counterparts. Hope that a brighter day was right around the corner. Hope for a day where love will conquer the segregation and overt racism that plagued America. They also had faith, faith in themselves, faith that what they were doing was not in vain, faith to endure the hard times that they faced. Most importantly, they had faith that God would watch over them and protect them as they fought the right to right the wrong of society. In closing, I say to you today, make your history. Stop procrastinating. Stop keeping all of your inventions to yourself. Because if you die today or tomorrow, God forbid, what dreams, what inventions, what ideas, what talents, what abilities, what skills, what books will die with you? What sermons, what seminars, what businesses will die with you? What songs, what paintings, what poetry will die with you? What God-given gifts will die with you? Gifts that you never developed, that you never nurtured, that you never did anything with. All of your gifts will die with you. Miles Monroe, God rest his soul, he said that what is placed on the planet is in the cemetery. He said because there is where you will find dreams never lived, inventions never patented, books never written, songs never sung, sermons never delivered, businesses never erupt. There you will find talent never nurtured, skills never developed, degrees never pursued, and history never made. Make your history today, each and every one of you. If you have hard work to do, then do it hard. Today the sky may be clear and blue, but tomorrow is not promised to you. Do it today. And no matter if you are black, white, red, yellow, love the skin that you're in. Whatever race God made you, be proud of who you are. If I wasn't already a black woman, and if reincarnation is real, I would ask God to please let me come back as a black woman with at least one great diamond from the motherland on my finger. Let me come back with the quiet courage of Rosa Parks, the voice of Ella Fitzgerald, the political courage of Ida B. Wells and Michelle Obama, the determination of Harriet Tubman, the spiritual poise of Susan